Formula One is a complicated world of its own. Hundreds or even thousands of drivers start their journey at a very young age, aiming to reach the pinnacle of motorsport. But with only 20 seats available in this prestigious sport, only a select few drivers make it. Despite China's population of 1.4 billion, there had never been a full-time Chinese driver in the history of Formula One until 2022, when Zhou Guanyu joined the F1 grid. So without further ado, let's take a look at Zhou's journey to Formula One, his performance so far, and what the future holds for him. Zhou was born in Shanghai, China in 1999. He keeps a very low profile about his family, so there's not much information available. His father, Zhou Guanyu, is a businessman who owns over 20 companies in China and rose to prominence in the car dealership industry. Zhou's father played a significant role in supporting him throughout his junior career. Zhou began karting at the age of 8 and competed in many regional and national karting championships in China. In 2012, Zhou moved to Europe to participate in more competitive karting championships. And no, he didn't move to Italy. Instead, he chose a place called Sheffield in England. He joined a local Sheffield-based karting team called Strawberry Racing. And no, I am not making this up. There, he won both the Super 1 National Rotax Max Junior Championship and the Rotax Max Euro Challenge. So yeah, pretty good karting record. In 2014, he became a member of the Ferrari Driver Academy. Zhou then stepped into the single-seater class in 2015, competing in the Italian Formula 4 with Prema. The season started off well, as he won all 3 races in the second round at Monza. However, he couldn't maintain the momentum. His teammate Ralph Aaron dominated the season and won the championship, while Zhou finished second in the standings ahead of Robert Schwartzman with 3 wins and 6 podiums. For 2016, Zhou moved to the Formula 3 European Championship with Team Motorpark and finished 13th in the standings. There were some big names in the series that season, including George Russell, Maximilian Günther, Nick Cassidy, Callum Ilott, Ralph Aaron, and Antoine Hubert. Lance Stroll won the championship in a very dominant fashion, surprising everyone, while Maximilian Günther finished second and George Russell finished third. Zhou also competed in the Toyota Racing Series that year, finishing in a respectable 6th place with 1 win and 3 podiums, while Lando Norris won the championship. Zhou stayed in Formula 3 for 2017, but switched to Prema, where he was partnered with Mick Schumacher, Maximilian Günther, and Callum Ilott. Zhou struggled that season. He finished ahead of Schumacher, but was significantly outperformed by Günther and Ilott. Lando Norris dominated the season and won the championship, while Zhou finished 8th in the standings with 5 podiums. While everyone expected Zhou to step up to Formula 2 for 2018, he decided to stay in Formula 3 for a 3rd season with Prema. He started the season well with 1 win and multiple podium finishes, but suffered many DNFs and unfortunate contacts during the middle part of the season, which saw him drop from 2nd in the standings to 8th place by the season's end. His teammate Mick Schumacher won the championship, and his other teammates Robert Schwartzman, Marcus Armstrong, and Ralph Aaron also outperformed him in the standings. Zhou was also signed by the DS Techeetah Formula E team that year as their test and development driver. 2018 also marked the end of Zhou's association with the Ferrari Driver Academy program. In 2019, Zhou stepped up to Formula 2 with the Uni Virtuosi racing team alongside teammate Luca Giotto, who was in his 4th season in F2. Zhou finished the season in 7th place with 5 podium finishes. While not highly impressive, it was a solid performance. He was the highest finishing rookie that season, beating the likes of Mick Schumacher and Callum Ilott. Although he was outqualified by his teammate, who finished 3rd in the standings, this was understandable given Giotto's 3 years of experience in Formula 2. At the beginning of 2019, the Renault F1 team signed Zhou into their driver program, and after completing a few tests for them, he was given the development driver role for 2020. For 2020, Zhou continued in F2 with the Uni Virtuosi team, this time partnering with Callum Ilott. Although expectations were high for Zhou to be close to the title fight, he eventually ended the season in 6th place. He secured his maiden F2 win in Russia and scored 5 more podiums during the season. While he looked strong at times, he failed to maintain momentum throughout the season. This inconsistency, coupled with some bad luck, took him out of the title fight that was well within reach. Mick Schumacher won the championship, while Zhou was outqualified by his teammate Callum Ilott, who finished 2nd in the standings. Zhou stayed in Formula 2 for a 3rd season with the Uni Virtuosi team, partnering with Felipe Drugovich, who was in his 2nd season of F2. Although a 3rd season in Formula 2 might seem excessive, Zhou delivered some brilliant performances in 2021. He was right in the mix for the championship, which was ultimately won by Oscar Piastri. Zhou secured 4 wins and was the 2nd highest podium scorer of the season. He ended the season in a strong 3rd place behind Piastri and Schwartzman, while his teammate finished 8th. He also participated in the Asian F3 that season and won the championship with 4 wins and 11 podiums. At the end of 2021, Zhou was signed by Alfa Romeo as their F1 driver for 2022, alongside Valtteri Bottas, making him the first ever full-time Chinese F1 driver. Before 2022, Alfa Romeo was a bottom midfield team, finishing 9th in the standings in 2021 with rare points finishes. However, with the introduction of new regulations in 2022, Alfa Romeo developed a solid midfield car capable of regularly finishing in the points. Having Bottas as a teammate was not going to be easy for Zhou. Bottas previously drove for Mercedes, was a multiple Grand Prix winner, and had a lot of experience. The goal for Zhou was to be comfortable in the car, stay close to his teammate, and score a few points. The season started well for Zhou as he finished 10th in Bahrain, scoring his first point in his first Formula 1 race, followed by 2 11th place finishes. However, things took a downturn from there. In the next 7 races, he suffered 4 DNFs and scored points in only 1 race, while his teammate consistently finished in the points. In Silverstone, he suffered a massive crash on the opening lap of the race. His final points finish of the season came in Monza, where he finished 10th. While Bottas finished the season in 10th place with 49 points, Zhou finished 18th with 6 points. It was a fairly decent rookie season for Zhou. He suffered many technical issues during the season which impacted his results. It could have been a bit better, possibly. Thanks to the combined efforts of both drivers, Alfa Romeo finished 6th in the constructors' standings, ahead of Aston Martin. His performances earned him a contract extension for 2023, with Alfa Romeo offering him a fresh 1-year deal. The 2023 season proved challenging for the Alfa Romeo squad. Their new car wasn't as competitive as the previous year, struggling to reach the point-scoring positions. Throughout the season, their rivals Aston Martin, Williams and AlphaTauri made significant strides, surpassing them in the standings. Zhou demonstrated notable improvements over the season and consistently stayed competitive with his teammate, and even out-qualified him at times. Bottas finished 15th in the standings with 10 points, while Zhou finished 18th with 6 points. Zhou also encountered 5 DNFs and faced various reliability issues during the season. The team concluded the year 9th in the constructors' standings, just 4 points ahead of Haas. One area where Zhou faced challenges was in qualifying. He often struggled to deliver a clean, fast lap, impacting his race prospects. His contract was extended by Alfa Romeo for another season, and for 2024, the team was rebranded as Kick Sauber, with Kick being the title sponsor of the team. This season, the struggles of the Sauber team appear to have worsened. In the first 12 races, the team has yet to score any points and currently sits at the bottom of the constructors' standings. Regarding Zhou's performance this season, there isn't much to discuss. He's doing his best with the car he has. The team faced issues with incorrect spec wheel nuts early on, resulting in excessively long pit stops. Zhou came close to scoring points on a couple of occasions, but these pit stop issues dashed any chance he had. It's hard to fault him or Bottas for the lack of points. Hopefully the team can resolve their issues, and with new upgrades, they can compete in the midfield and secure some decent points. Zhou is also one of the few drivers in the F1 paddock who are really into fashion. Additionally, he is also a big gaming enthusiast. In an interview, he mentioned that he enjoys playing in open F1 lobbies, so there's a chance you might just find yourself racing against Zhou in the game. Now, coming to the question that I often see asked on the internet, is Zhou a pay driver? Well, it depends on how you look at it. There were rumours that Zhou's sponsors offered Sauber a sponsorship of 30 million euros. I can't confirm the exact amount, but he did bring some well-funded sponsors to Sauber. Were there more talented drivers available from the 2021 F2 Championship, like Schwartzman, who had a more impressive junior record? Yes. However, Formula 1 is ultimately a business. Smaller teams like Sauber and Haas rely on sponsor money to operate, so they often choose drivers who bring financial support while also demonstrating potential for growth and improvement. So far, Zhou hasn't disappointed. While he trails his teammates slightly, he has shown numerous times that he has the skills for Formula 1 and deserves his place here. Comparatively, he has performed much better than Sargent at Williams, from whom I was expecting a better performance. And now to the most important question: what does the future look like for Zhou? This is a tough question to answer. Sauber will transition into the Audi Works team from 2026, having signed Nico Hülkenberg to a multi-year contract starting in 2025, leaving only one seat available. Audi's aggressive approach suggests they may prefer a more experienced and race-winning driver, perhaps someone like Sainz. Money likely won't be a constraint for Audi, so Zhou's sponsorship angle may not work in his favour. It's challenging to see Zhou joining the front-running teams as their driver lineups are pretty much sorted. However, there are midfield teams that could be interested in signing Zhou. One such team, in my opinion, could be Alpine. With Esteban Ocon leaving at the end of this year, a seat will be vacant. Zhou has a history with the Alpine brand as their former development driver, which makes him familiar with the team. I believe Gasly and Zhou could form a strong long-term pairing for Alpine. Haas could also be a viable option. While they have announced Ollie Behrman for 2025, they haven't confirmed their second driver. With strong backing from sponsors, Zhou could be a significant asset for the Haas team. With a rookie joining the team, they'll likely need an experienced driver, making Zhou an attractive candidate. Williams is another potential option for Zhou, although personally I don't see that happening. Zhou is, in my opinion, an underrated driver who has shown considerable growth and improvement. Despite his lack of results due to unfortunate circumstances, he remains a solid driver with substantial potential. I hope he continues in Formula 1 in the coming years and achieves the results he is capable of achieving. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, as always, give it a like, and if you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments what you guys think of Zhou, and I'll see you guys in the next video.